Good morning, all. You are at a Forever Forward presented by Entrepreneurs Forever. I'm Deborah Gallant. I am your host of these programs that we offer once a month. Actually, I offer so many programs, sometimes I get dizzy for remembering what they all are. But today is a Forever Forward, and I am delighted to have Betsy Strickler, who is a neighbor, sort of mine here in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, as our guest presenter. I'm going to start us off with just some introductory slides, and then I'm going to hand it off to Betsy for her part. And welcome all of you. We'll do a little icebreaker in just a moment. So I'm so glad you're here. All right, Betsy, you seen your screen there?
Yes.
Thank you. So today's Forever Forward is about telling your story. This is different than an elevator pitch, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we move forward, because it's easy to think that those things are the same thing, and they absolutely are not. So today we're going to do our introductions. So we're going to talk about who we are quickly, do the presentation with recap and sharing. We may or may not have time to do those breakouts. So I'm going to skip this part because I think Betsy's going to do the introductions in the icebreaker. Entrepreneurs Forever, I think most of you know, our mission is to empower all small business owners to grow thriving businesses that sustain their families and support their communities. We do that mostly through our monthly peer-to-peer support groups. If you aren't already a member, you want to learn more, that's how you do that. I have found that if I don't cover these upcoming learning opportunities before I start today's program, I never get back to them. So here they are. Next Monday afternoon, getting on retail shelves. We have a couple of different experts. If you sell a product and you want to get it in stores, that's going to be a terrific panel. Next month's Forever Forward is about best technology tools for small business. And I have one of our members, Phil DeMuro, helping me present that. And he's going to do some show and tell of some of his favorite tools. And then if you're not signed up for next Tuesday's virtual business summit, it's going to be amazing. And I hope to see many of you there. It's not too late to register. It's Tuesday morning, the 17th. So the disclaimer we always do is this does not take the place of professional advice from your own paid advisors. I'm not sure that's as relevant on telling your story as it is on credit repair or, retirement planning. But we leave the disclaimer in there because I don't want anyone to think I'm an authority and you should take this stuff to the bank. It's really meant as a service. And one of the things you'll note about programs that when we create them is we're not brand specific. We're not trying to sell you anything. This is really just informative to help you do what you do better. So today we're going to talk about telling your story. I'm going to let Betsy introduce herself and tell you more about her credentials. I had to think long and hard about who I knew to help us present this topic because I'm great at elevator pitch. Let me help you tell your story really quick. But that's so different than telling your origin story and helping people really understand who you are and how to make yourself differentiated. And that's where Betsy came in. So I'm going to stop sharing and let her introduce herself, and then you can bring your deck up when you're ready.
Great. Thank you all. So again, my name is Betsy Strickler. It's lovely to be here with you this morning. And I have a big cup of coffee next to me. So just FYI, if you're drinking your coffee, that is A-OK. So as Deborah said, I am a semi-neighbor to her, and I live in the Western Massachusetts area called the Berkshires. And I have my own entrepreneurial venture, which is business development, marketing, and brand strategy. And so Deb and I had this really great conversation around just what is your pitch versus what is your story. So that's where we are led today. So let me share my screen and get us started. So, all right, that is me. So we're going to start today with a little bit of an icebreaker just to get everybody warmed up, and then go through, as I said, talking about the origin, the brand story, the difference between them, and your pitch, and then why it's important, how you create one, how you build one, give you some examples. And then we'll have you do some breakouts where you can start to practice whether you have one already now or you're just starting to think about what your origin story is or your brand story. And then we'll come back and share and do some Q&A and all of that. So because we are in the storytelling mode, we're going to talk about your summer vacation. So I'd love for just quick hits. We're going to go around if you had a summer vacation or if you were so busy with your business that you couldn't take a summer vacation. That's great too. Where would you like to go? So my summer vacation every year, I go to an island in Maine. There are no roads. There are no stores. There is very spotty Wi-Fi. There are 40 houses, and I sit and I do nothing for a week, and it's lovely. And it's where I recharge and refresh. So I'd love to just go around. The next person on my screen is Lauren. And if you could tell your quick introduction, who you are, your business and your favorite summer vacation, and then pass it on to somebody on the screen so we don't have to pick.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everyone. I am Lauren Clow. I am founder of For the Love of Cape Cod. And even though I am an E4All 2022 spring cohort member in the Business Accelerator, I don't have a pitch and my story is all over the place. So I'm happy to be here. I've pivoted so much since then. But in a nutshell, For the Love of Cape Cod is a business designed for those who love Cape Cod. And right now I am focusing on apparel and accessories. So it is with quite an embarrassment that I'm telling you that my favorite place of vacation is in Plymouth. This is a family cottage and my husband's family spend it for generations. It's right over the bridge, so it kind of counts, but it's similar to yours, Betsy, just nothing there. There's no Wi-Fi. You feel like you're back in 1970 and it's just lovely. So that's my favorite vacation spot, even though the Cape is lovely, I promise. And next person on my screen is Chris.
I'm Chris Burdick. I own a custom picture painting shop in Pittsburgh. I think I have a good story. Because we're a family-owned business that we've been in business for 44 years, and my dad started in the industry, 1960. So I need some kind of help dealing with all of that. I actually had 2 long weekend vacations this year. They were both family reunions. One was my dad's side, one was my mom's side. My mom's side we have every year, so we kind of see those people every year, every other year, whenever people can come. The one that was here and closer to the Pittsburgh State College was my dad's side of the family. Half of those are from up in the Massachusetts area, Situate, and right on the Cape. It's been 7 years since we got together like that, so it was good to get together with family this summer. It's a busy summer that way. So the next person I see is Tammy.
Hi, I'm Tammy with TNT Admin Services in Titusville, Pennsylvania. We do bookkeeping, payroll, accounting, all of it. No real vacation this year, just stuff around the house and gardening. I think I hit on everything, and I'm glad to be here. Next person on my screen would be Greg.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Greg. I'm CEO and founder of Conscientious Capitalists. I provide sales and leadership consulting to B2B and EdTech startups who have achieved about $1 million or so in sales through what I call founder hero sales. And I help them to turn that into strategy and process that makes sales more predictable and with greater acceleration. I'm in Pittsburgh. And vacation this year was something that we've been doing for about the past 30 years. We meet up, family and friends, in a little town called Hamden, New York, where the very first baseball game was played 14 years before Abner Doubleday did in Cooperstown, New York. And we play an old timers baseball game, which I am more than qualified to be an old timer. That's my story. Next on my screen, we'll go with Nate.
Hi, I'm getting there. Can you hear me? I had a little bit of technical difficulties earlier on. So I have written some software. I'm a software developer. Actually, I write software. I don't like the term programmer. I write software. I've done it for coming on 50 years. And you know, I'm just always, I'm unique. I was thinking about this morning. I'm unique in the sense that there's nobody else my age that sticks with programming their entire life. Most people, you know, they go into management because the money's better for whatever reason. But you know, for me, the satisfaction is in writing software. I just love doing it. I got up at 5 this morning and was doing a little project. So about 15 years ago, I started an electronic signature capture software application system, and that system has become really powerful. Very, you know, it does. I mean, I can talk for hours on what it does, but it's electronic signature capture and document management. And it's been 15 years. It's time for me to market that and make the company that I always wanted to thought I would be doing, you know, in 2009 when I started this. So that's now I'm ready for that. I mean, you know, career and life and all that other stuff got in the way before. Now I'm ready to do that. That's why I'm here. What's
Summer vacation?
Yeah, what is that? I like to ski. You know, my family is very avid skiers, and so I'll go. You know, maybe one week a year. Usually, you know, I've been driving. I live in north of Pittsburgh, about 60 miles, and I'll drive to Vermont for a week ski. The Western PA Ski Council puts on, and this year we're going to fly to Las Vegas and ski for a week in a little near Zion National Park at Bryant's Head, Utah, where I lived when I was a kid. And so that's what I love to do. And I think
I don't think that's a summer vacation because I live near Vermont and there's no snow here. Okay, Nate, pick somebody else. We got to move on. We're just in the icebreaker.
you're the next one on my list, and unless there's somebody before me. Am I the last one, mate? Oh,
No,
how about okay? Let's see. How about James?
James Stokes, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm James, on 3, based out of Pittsburgh. We recruit and deliver talent, specializing in information technology people, laboratory personnel, accountants, and engineers. So if I would have went on summer vacation this year, my favorite place to go is Canada and fish for walleye, bass, and every once in a while I'll have a muskie or a pike, grab one of the fish you reel in, and just drink a few Canadian ales while there.
All right, who's on your screen?
We should put this back in gallery. Tanya?
Hi, my name is Tanya Ettinger. I own 8 companies in Pittsburgh that are all entertainment and planning, wedding and event planning and social and corporate planning. Anything to do with the entertainment industry. We also have a event rental company, DJ, photo booth, everything to make everything easier for you to plan your event. Been doing it 25 years, located in Pittsburgh, PA. I party for a living, so I get to go on vacation quite often with my destination clients. We've already been to Mexico this year doing a wedding, and we're about to go to the Bahamas on Monday and do a wedding. And we always add on extra time for the team so we can stay and relax and enjoy the week. Let's make magic.
All right, is anybody, CJ Hurley, have you gone?
I have not. My name's Barbara Pierce, and I realized that I logged in under CJ's Zoom, so you can call me CJ. But he and I own a business called Century Arts Design and Fine Art Studio. We specialize in design and consultation for old homes and buildings around the country. We live in Oil City, Pennsylvania, where we moved 8 years ago from Portland, Oregon. And vacations are kind of a deficiency for us right now, but we did actually get a few days on a mountain in Wintergreen, Virginia on our way back from a family caregiving visit recently. So that was a good time.
All right, I'm just going to call in the last few people. Cindy Burselli, we're just sharing our business and a summer vacation memory. You're muted, Cindy. You know better.
I'm sorry. I couldn't log on. I was having great difficulty. Sorry. Cindy Burselli, Fine Arts. I paint. I'm a painter of mostly working in pastel, sometimes oil or acrylic, focusing on animal portraits at the current time. And my daughter and I got a few days away in May and went to a Delaware beach and had a horrible weather and a wonderful time.
I like hearing that. Morgan, I don't think we've heard from you.
I work in PR, and if a summer vacation was possible, we have a summer cabin up in Canada, so I love going there, but just wasn't able to get there this summer.
All right, Eunice? Nope.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Yunus Ajibi. I own AS Initiative LLC. We are in data. We provide advanced analytics and IT security to government agencies. And I haven't taken a vacation in almost 2 years, but my next vacation will be somewhere in Vancouver, Canada.
All right, it sounds like we have a Canada theme. I think
Yeah.
I got everybody. And I'll just share before I give it back to Betsy. I climbed the Inca Trail and went to Machu Picchu for my summer vacation, which I'm suffering for now because I got sick coming home. But oh my God, what a wonderful way to spend time. Just fantastic. Highly recommend. Betsy, you're back on.
Great. Thank you, everybody. So the goal of that obviously is to get to know each other a little bit better. Many of you used actually your pitch in your intro. So applause to those of you who have thought through what your elevator pitch is. But as you think about vacations, and that was very purposeful in what I chose, a lot of the reflection and a lot of the conversation, whether you took a vacation or you wished you could take a vacation, kind of centers around connections, family, emotions, things like that. So when you're thinking about your summer vacation, think about some of those things of why you love that place in Canada or at the top of a mountain or wherever it may be. So we're gonna now shift a little bit to away from the pitch, which again, some of you talked about, but start to think about the origin of your business. And your origin story is really about you and why your business and how your business got started. So if you think, I gave some examples here, that an origin story is the story about the character in a fictional story that became, you know, the hero or the villain, right? But it always goes back to the character development. In a comic book, it's your superhero, it's your Batman and Robin. It's how these people came to be. You know, we all know the story of Kryptonite and all of that. So your story about your business really starts with you and the journey that you have taken to get to this place, whether you've been in business for family for 40 years, you started it up 25 years ago, or you're just now saying, okay, I've got a couple years under my belt and now I'm really ready to dive in. So think about your personal story and how you got to where you are now. So, sorry, I'm flipping between two screens. So again, your storytelling, think about your summer vacation, allows companies to create this deeper emotional connection with people. So lots of people need a thing, but as an entrepreneur, you have an extra investment in your company. It's you. You are your company and your company is you. So thinking about how you engage customers on a personal level to solve problems, to share memories, to create experiences, again, it all comes back to you and that emotional connection to how you differentiate yourself and your brand. And you can read what I wrote up here, but thinking about, again, developing empathy. Oh, I have that same problem. Oh, she was so amazing. I want to do business with her. I liked her. Sometimes it comes down to people want to do business with somebody they like. So your origin story, again, you're relatively, in the world of entrepreneurialism, you are not yet the size of Uber or Apple or eBay, but they all have stories of how they started. And I'm not sure, does everybody know the stories of these three? I just chose these three random. Do you all know these stories and how they got started?
Does
Anybody?
anyone know any of them? So they can tell the story instead of you and me?
Yeah.
James Stokes, you must know.
Well, I think didn't Apple start in a garage and
Yes.
build up from some guys who left school and then carried on? They were
Yes.
really determined.
Very, very true. Apple started with Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Steve Jobs had dropped out of Reed College, kind of finding his way, but really always loved learning and loved technology. And he and Steve and another gentleman sat around in the garage one day and built a computer, and the rest is history.
Do we know why?
Somebody does. I don't know.
I believe eBay, I do know eBay started as a pet. The people love Pez dispensers, and it started as a Pez dispenser auction and expanded from there.
Yep. Does anybody know the Uber story? So that one also similar. So two friends it was a snowy night in Paris. And two friends were trying to hail a cab and they were waiting for the cab and nothing's ever coming. And they said, wouldn't it be awesome? This was in 2008. Wouldn't it be awesome if we could just have an app that called a car and it called a cab for us? And they got in their cab, the cab showed up. They ultimately went and, went back about their way, but the feeling never left either of them. And they came back together and created what was then called Uber Cab. And so again, it was their own story, cold night, shivering, waiting for a car that was taking forever to come. And wouldn't it be just so much easier if we could just click a button? Well, guess what? So again, all of those started with very personal stories. So in these stories, what I want you, as you think about your own journey, your own business, start to think about your story. So everything has a character, the Steve Jobs, Travis, cold in Paris, shivering. What was the problem? The problem was they couldn't get a cab, taxi, they're hailing, nothing's happening. They met a guide. In this case, they had each other to brainstorm, gave them a plan. The plan, wouldn't it be awesome if we could just hit a button? Let's go back in time. They came together. They set a plan. Call to action, let's build it. And now we have Uber. So that's just one example. But when you think about your own journey, again, were you doing something you love and it just kind of morphed? Were you saying, oh, I don't know how to program, I need to fix this issue, I'm going to start taking classes in programming, whatever it might be. So
You know,
think about
Betsy,
your,
the thing that I love about starting the way we did with the icebreaker and the emotions is you'd think, well, how much emotion is there in a ride share application? Well,
Mhm.
these guys were cold and desperate, and they said there's got to be a better way to make sure that you get picked up. You know, Cindy, one of the things that always I'm always remarking on when I hear your story is yours is all emotion, right? If I'm going to pay you, I don't know how much you charged to paint a picture of my cat. It's because I love that cat, because I'm very emotionally attached to that cat. So your origin story has to be all about the powerful connection we have to our pets and how you memorialize that in a way that people keep for years and years and remember. You need to pull on those heartstrings and make it into that emotional connection, even if it doesn't seem, to you, it's work, but in the story, it needs to have that emotional power. Does that make sense?
Mhm. I think, thank you, Deborah, for that, because that's
Thank you.
really helpful. Yeah. So does anybody else have, just what Deborah said about Cindy, like there's that emotional pull of, but it's my pet and I want to memorialize that person or that cat, that dog, that horse, whatever it might be. Does anyone else have a story in mind? And you don't have to share right now, but just start to think about what's the emotional side of how you got started. So we're going to do a 10-minute breakout. Deb, are you able to divide?
Yeah, I can do it. I'm thinking 3 people in each one
Mhm.
and will that give everyone enough time? I think so. So make yourself some notes or take a screenshot of what's here, because this is what you're going to be doing in your breakouts.
Mhm.
And I'm going to go set them up and you can tell them what you expect them to do. Okay.
Yes. So, and we may give you, a little bit more than 10 minutes if you need, but so if you do already have your origin story. So again, this is not your pitch. This is the emotion of why you started this company and why somebody wants to do business with you. Tell your story with each other, offer some feedback. And if you don't have a story yet, start to think about, okay, the character is you. What is or was the problem you were trying to solve? Perhaps it was, how do I grow my family business? So did you have somebody that assisted you or guided you? If not, that's okay too. And then what was it that kind of prompted it? Like, ready, go. This is why I'm doing this.
All right, I think I've got it. I think they're all 3 except one might be 2. Go work on your stories together, help each other, think it through. We'll give you, I'm actually thinking, let's give them 15 minutes and I'll give you a warning at about, I'll give you a notice halfway through to make sure we've switched over. Okay,
Okay. Yep. And then we'll come back and share. So.
perfect. All right, I think that went okay.
Yeah.
I was worried that they might go over on the intros, and one of them did.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's part of it. So yes, thank you for jumping in, because you were like, boom.
This is my job. Okay.
Yes. Yes. So I was trying not to talk too much, but there was also a little bit of like, I just need to share. So anything, I would just love feedback too,
No, I think
should I ever do something like this again?
Yeah.
Good. All right. And the rest, really, what I was thinking about too is when I, met with you early on and talked about doing the group leading. I forget what the title of it is.
Facilitation.
Yes. I was like, okay, I remember a lot of this is really just helping people solve their own problems, giving them the prompts to work with each other. So that was my intent on give the basics and run with it. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go
Okay.
refill my coffee while they're in there. I'll give them a warning in about 6 minutes.
All right. So I'm just going to ask a handful of people to share.
No, see who wants to volunteer, that's right.
Yeah.
And you might ask who in their groups saw somebody make progress and like, want to share that. So that way they're partnering and
Yep.
forward. Welcome back. I don't usually do breakouts. Was it fun? Good.
Awesome.
Very helpful and a really fast 15 minutes, I have to say.
Doesn't matter how long I give you. Everyone says it's too fast. It's too fast.
Mhm.
What happened to everyone else? Are they coming back? Here they are. All right. Welcome back, everyone. Betsy, you're up.
Great. Well, how was that? Just generally
Thumbs up.
good. Good, good, good. So I'd love to just take a few minutes. Is there anybody who wants to share their story? How about it? Just
Especially if during your breakout, you made progress on something that had been a struggle for you. That would be great.
mhm.
Chris, I saw you on mute. You want to share?
Yeah, I don't, I have the family business and I wasn't quite sure how to put the emotion into it. So basically I kind of just wrote down the story part of it. And then I'm gonna try to figure out how to put the emotion into it. Um, you know, coming in after graduating from college, my dad already had the business running for 10 years. So I kind of missed a lot of the beginning part of that. And so, I used to help my dad out on weekends and vacations. And then after graduating, I started full time to help expand the business. The industry was really growing at that time. And more technology was coming in, and he wasn't into the technology part. So, I kind of started implementing, POS system.
I think there's a story there, Chris, that
There
you
is
are
100%.
discounting. Let
Yeah.
me just point this out, and I don't mean to be political, but Donald Trump didn't start his empire. He inherited his father's and then took it and ran with that. So saying my father started the business and then I took it from there is a story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think also, Chris, just to weigh in a little bit further, you had options, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of assuming you didn't have to go into the family business.
No.
You chose to go in. And so you could talk a little bit about that. When I was a teenager, I worked weekends in the family business and I loved it or I didn't love it, or you can weave that definitely, because that was a choice for you.
And then kind of like the story, does that kind of end where we're at today?
Doesn't have to end.
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, because I'm actually redoing my website right now, and I saw this come up, and I thought, this is perfect for what I'm going to be doing in the next couple months, to tell this story to, people reading, deciding if they're going to come to my business to get their picture framed. That this would really help kind of.
And for you in particular, so, when I titled this The Origin Story, it really is the origin, right? So your businesses hopefully will continue to grow and expand and go to next generations and beyond. But the origin is about you. And in particular, it's about you and your family. It's about your father. So the origin doesn't change. Maybe how you tell that story evolves in time.
Got anyone
Yeah.
else who would like to share? Thank you for sharing, Chris.
Well, I will, Nate Clark here.
Great.
I would say that was really great from the perspective, maybe people don't, well, maybe they do. I mean, I was there and I was saying, well, I don't know what to say. I have no idea what, how you would start or what everything else. But, then they asked a certain set of questions and I couldn't shut up. I mean, it was great. It got the blood flowing. But anyway, that was real helpful in that sense.
Good. Well, and one of the hardest challenges will be, and maybe for some of you, you want to just start writing it all down and then pick out, a few sentences, because just like your pitch, you want it to be concise. If you're talking to somebody, they say, oh, how did you get started in programming? Right? My business started because, and you can do it that way, but sometimes less is more. So that's sometimes the hardest part.
I have a ramble. I ramble sometimes. I know that. I ramble most of the time. That's true. I need to learn not to do that.
Greg, I saw you unmute. Do you want to share a little?
Yes, I would love to. I had the good fortune of being in the breakout room with Cynthia and Cindy. Two amazing origin stories, and a really great suggestion that Cindy made to Cynthia, and that is put her origin story on cards and insert it into the soap products that she's selling to people.
Oh, what a fantastic idea.
It was a great suggestion that Cindy made. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
And
really
the one that
great.
was made to me recently, and again, this might be this is more kind of LinkedIn oriented, but the about section of your LinkedIn profile, I used to have that look like a resume until somebody pointed out to me, hey, that's really where your origin story belongs. This is how you distinguish yourself. Tell your story about yourself. Don't list all the things that you know how to do. And so I changed my LinkedIn about section just recently, and because of the advice that I got, which is very much what Betsy is talking about today.
I just want to point out, Greg is a professional marketer and sales coach, And this is not something you nail once and walk away from. This is an evolving process and staying connected with how you're messaging about your business. So Greg, I really appreciate your contributing and admitting that it's not perfect one and done. It's always a work in progress, right?
Mhm. And so similar to what you just shared, does anyone else also have a story from within their group? Did you see your partner or colleagues as they evolved with their story? Any good feedback from that?
Barbara, I see you unmuted.
Yeah, I don't have anything to share, but I wanted to ask a question. Betsy, you referenced again the pitch versus the story. And I don't know if now is the right time to ask this, but I want to know if you can elaborate a little bit more on how to help us understand the differentiation. Because I feel like in some way,
Yes.
for me, I feel like if you ask me to do one or the other, I might tell you the same thing. So I don't know how to clarify how
That's
to
a
differentiate.
great question, Barbara.
It's a really great question.
Perfect timing.
Yes. So the origin story is about you and how your beginnings or your journey created this business. What was the problem you were trying to solve? What was the adventure you were going on? That sort of thing. So the origin story is about you. The pitch is about the services you provide. My company does business development, marketing strategy, and communications for individuals as well as
Or
mission-driven
about
organizations.
solving the customer problem. It's a customer orientation for an
Right.
elevator pitch. So when Tanya talked about all things entertainment, that's totally a pitch. But honestly, Tanya, I have no idea how you started in this business because I don't know your origin story. You've never told it.
I didn't realize I hadn't.
But do you understand the difference now? I mean, Barbara, I'm trying to illustrate it for you.
Yeah, I think that's very helpful, like separating me and us and how we got here from what we do for our clients.
James, did you want to say something?
What if your origin story is not that exciting?
I bet it's more interesting than you think.
Run it through Chat GPT and zhuzh it yourself.
Let's hear what it is. Let's hear it.
I don't really have one, but on a quick side note, adding to what Greg said, in our meeting yesterday, we were talking about storytelling, and a story came out of Pier 1 would put the origin story on each piece in a little card. And the lady picked up this vase and says, 60 bucks, and it's plastic. And the manager heard it and read her the card. This is actually bamboo sheet, hand woven by ladies in this country and painted and shellacked. And once she found out the origin story, he goes, he was still moving around the store, and there she was buying it. Right?
That's a perfect example.
Story can touch that emotional vein, to bring people. My origin story when I first started my first recruiting business way back when was I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was tired of working for a job, and this looked like a lucrative area to play in.
But what else? Dig deeper. Why? Why did you do it? Why did you want to do it? Just because for the money or for some other reason? Did you think that you could match businesses to staffing or like dig deeper?
That was money. That's why I said it's not that exciting. But through the years, I have become very specialized at it. And, now it's kind of, my origin story now is, companies really don't know how to interview candidates, and candidates don't really know how to represent themselves. So I'm almost ready to pivot to go into coaching to teach each how to be better at what they do.
And before you started your own business, you mentioned you were working at a company.
Yes.
So, right. So you had experiences at different companies. My guess is you had colleagues that you said, how did they end up here? Because they don't fit in this company. Or how did they end up?
I saw the companies that were supplying us people, and I was hiring and buying in the money they were making. So it was money driven. That's why I feel like a super zero instead of a superhero.
No, well, so yes, it might have been money driven, but there has to be a reason. I mean, there's so many things you can do that are money driven. Like,
Well,
why do you do this? And
emotionally, I mean, I do so much free work doing outplacement for people I don't even have jobs for, teaching them how to be more self-aware, better represent themselves.
so I just wanted to advocate for you as being a natural coach, because we were teamed up in that little breakaway, and he was amazing with me. Like, just being able to see something that in a way that I couldn't. So you do have a talent and a knack for it. And there's a reason why you got into this line of work. And that's what you should tap into, because you're brilliant at it. I can tell just from meeting you in 5 minutes.
Thank you. You make me humbled. You know,
I think one of the good things about our peer groups in general, but all of these things, is sometimes it's very hard when you're in your own head to remember the value and the impact you have in the world, which is why the rest of us are here to help you.
You know, and I guess the biggest thing, you know, there's a lot of unscrupulous recruiters out there. We're very transparent, live by integrity, and, you know, we take the long way to get there, not the shortcut. We thoroughly talk to people. You know, but in this marketplace now, I mean, it's constant pivoting. It's just, if I find you have that skill set and neck and can breathe, I'm going to present you, because there's no fish in the pond. You know, this is the best I can do. But you know, there's origins that came out, and I can make a better story. But my origin story, like I said, is I wanted to be an entrepreneur. This looked like a lucrative environment, so I stuck my nose in and learned a lot along the way.
All right, we're coming up on time. I want to make sure that if anyone else has unasked questions like Barbara, I thought yours was very clarifying, so thank you for that, that you get a chance to do it. Betsy, I don't see any particular reason to run back to the slides. This has been a fantastic conversation. Hopefully everyone feels like they made some forward progress on telling their story. Terrific. As I said, next Monday, wholesale panel. Next Tuesday, the summit, technology tools. James Stokes, I hope you'll come to that one. I have Phil DeMuro from, what's his company? He's in Rhode Island. He does mobile web app development on technology tools for your business. That one's going to be great. And we want everyone to bring their ideas. It's going to be a terrific program. All of the programs are great. Betsy, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. This was really helpful.
Thank you for sharing your stories. That was great.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course.
Sorry for thinking about this at the last minute. And you might have said this as you started, but it's resonating more now. So what do we do with this now? Like, how is this something you just want us to have in our heads to talk about? Or can you give recommendations of ways that we develop this and then use it?
So a little bit depends on your company, what your motivation is, how you want to build customers. Greg had a great point. He's got it on his LinkedIn profile now, because his is a personal profession, right? You're reaching people through connections. So you could put it on your website. Somebody made the suggestion, I think Cynthia, putting it on cards in what you're selling. So wherever you need to have a personal connection with people, that's where you can use it.
About Us sounds like a good place on your website too, right? About Us, that's what you're about. My origin story is a good place for About Us.
You can even tell it in a video. Great. This was terrific. Thank you all. I hope you have a great Friday, and I'll see you at one of my future programs. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.